Hey folks, Shaw here with Royal Tiger Imports, and today I'm here to show you all something very interesting that we just got out of our recent shipment of the 7.62 by 54R ammunition. The vast majority of what we imported of that 7.62 by 54R and 32 ACP ammunition, the Czech S&B manufactured stuff, was standard, whether it's light ball or it was standard 32 ACP ammunition. But what I have in front of me here is something that's a little bit different that we got a very limited quantity of compared to the rest. This is quite interesting. This is a Czech, what is referred to as a training ammunition cartridge, and it's a 46 grain round nose hollow projectile 7.62 by 54R cartridge. This stuff is very interesting as it visually looks right off the bat quite different, as it's a round nose cartridge compared to the Spitzer bullet. And it's a very lightweight cartridge as well. This stuff is, again, it's a 46 grain projectile, and the rest of the casing with everything combined, it's a very lightweight cartridge. And also, according to some people online, the FPS of the projectile itself clocks in at quite high velocities, usually around 3,500, 3,600 feet per second, which is pretty incredible compared to your average velocities being pretty low, relatively lower speaking compared to this on a 7.62 by 54R standard cartridge. This stuff is also different with its crate markings. It is quite similar while it still has the 59 designation on the front of the crate. You can see up close, and we'll get a close-up video in a moment. It has a RD59 crate marking on the front, and it's also packed a bit differently. The rounds that we've seen so far of this were not packed in a sealed metal spam can, but rather in this tarred paper, sealed. It's still quite well sealed, and the ammunition's in fantastic condition. But that being said, it's sealed differently, and it's a bit different than the other 7.62 by 54R ammunition. Each one of these off blue color cardboard boxes has 12 rounds per box, and you can see at the front it has 912 cartridges total. It's about 70 and change boxes that are all nicely, neatly, tightly packed into there. So without further ado, let me get you a close-up video of this crate and the ammunition itself, and then we'll also get a look at the limited quantity that we have in the back. Let's take a closer look at the ammunition here. So right off the bat, you can see that it's pretty similar crate markings. However, this has a quantity of 912 compared to what you'll typically see being 800, or sometimes even 780, depending on what particular cartridge. You can see it's marked 762-RD59. And again, this is dimensionally, the casing, at least on this particular one, dimensionally the same as 7.62 by 54R. The 59 is a Czech military designation for the year. Weighs 19 kilograms. And then you have other markings on the box. And if we move over here, you can see that it's a BXN code for the ammunition. And this particular box was actually made in 1967, and it's got the matching, of course, head stamps that are marked with 67 on the back. So let's get a closer look here. You can see, if we zoom in a little bit more, it has our 67 at the top. It's a little hard to see there. And then a BXN. And while we're at it, let's get a nice close look at the cartridge here. You can see that it has a distinctly rounded nose at the front, and it almost looks like it's a 7.62 by 25 bullet in the front of it. But what's interesting is that this ammunition is actually a hollow projectile. And you can take a look online and you'll see that some people have dissected the cartridge. And you can see that it's, again, just completely hollow. It's very interesting. It's an extremely lightweight projectile at 46 grains. And steel case, otherwise pretty standard. You've got your black primer on this, which is pretty interesting. And I've heard that this stuff shoots at an extremely high velocity compared to other 7.62 by 54R. It's also reported for being quite a loud report when shooting, so it'll definitely be interesting to shoot some of this stuff later. And let's take a look at you got a few here, but let's take a look at the boxes themselves. So this one is open. It comes with a small paper divider in there. And again, it is a quantity of 12. So you got 8 in that box right now, and then we've got the 4 that we pulled out. And let's take a look at the rest of the crate. So this was nicely sealed using these other tar papers here. And we've peeled this back, and you can see they've nicely stacked in here 912 individual cartridges in 12 round boxes per. So it's very efficiently packed. And again, we've got a very limited quantity of this stuff, but it was a real special treat seeing this compared to the rest of the ammunition. And we're looking forward to shooting some of this stuff. This should be really interesting. But without further ado, let's take a look in the back and take a look at the one remaining pallet that we have. Let's take a closer look at this pallet here. As you can see, extremely similar crate markings. It's interesting, worth noting that these are mostly 1960s dated compared to the 1980s production, which is more common for the 7.62x54 standard light ball ammunition. You can also see that some have a OD green colored crate and others are more standard. So again, got limited quantities. This is everything that we have. So come get it while you can. Thank you very much for watching. God bless.